See, Rendani, I read something like that we need to reincarnate because of our karma from our last life, the lifetime before, so that her higher self wants us to reincarnate, and it's not a decision that we as our ego makes, but our higher self wants us to learn all our lessons, so we can't decide not that we don't want to reincarnate again. That depends on how you view it, because in some senses that is correct. What you have to understand, and this is strictly in my research, but I've also got it collaborated with a lot of other magicians. The soul's far too large to be put into this meat suit. Okay. So it's not that you're reincarnating because of karma. A lot of people in modern time misuse the word karma so horribly, so horribly. It's not because of karma. Essentially, you have to learn enough lessons and mastery of self to hit ascent. And every lifetime that you don't manage to do it, that particular small, very small piece of the entirety soul or oversoul or whatever you want to call it, goes to the afterlife. It does not come back. It goes to the afterlife. Okay. And it will go to the afterlife that is associated with the belief system of that individual fragment. Okay. So if it worships the Norse one time, it'll go to Helheim. If it's Christian the next time, it'll go to heaven. It's not locked into a specific, but an entirely new fragment will come down and incarnate. This is actually why ghosts exist. If it was literally just a soul and it went whoop, and then reincarnated flesh, whoop, reincarnated flesh, we'd never have human spirits. There'd be no freaking ghosts. There would be no ancestors. You would literally have no concept of ancestors. And I mean, when you look at reincarnation, when you look at ghosts and you look at this, the way the entities have laid out the concept of the oversoul and the individual fragments, not what we view as, the same person just in this endless cycle of reincarnation, makes a hell of a lot more sense. And honestly, I've not found anything that makes as much sense as that and works as well. I do believe in the concept of the fragments individually, because I do understand that lessons need to be learned, and I do understand that ghosts exist and ancestors exist and those kinds of things. I do not buy into the whole karmic punishment, higher self cop out, because that's honestly what it feels like. It feels like a cop out. And that's the way a lot of people are using it. Like, I've seen so many people, it's like, well, the spell didn't work because it wasn't in your best interest. Your higher self decided this would be better. Horse shit. That's not magic. That is fate. That is destiny. And if that's what you want to believe into, just don't bother with magic. Just don't, because you're just going to explain away anything that didn't work for you. And I personally have a problem with that. But that's just my 2 cents. And honestly, I can even understand that people who do take the whole fate, the destiny side of it, I can see the comfort in it. I can see it. Part of me wants to embrace it, but I can't, because it's maddening to me. I prefer self-sufficiency and freedom. It's one of those things where I see the logic in both, but I also know me as a person, and I know which road I will always be on, if that makes sense. But I also look at the one that makes the most sense, because seriously, if everyone's constantly reincarnating, you're just not going to have any ghosts, and they can't account for ghosts and stuff. So there's that. Anyhow, moving on.